Hi, folks. We're back on Take My Yoke, and today we're going to be talking about the two key words that every Hebrew boy wanted to hear, and that was to follow me. And we're going to explain the difference between when the rabbis said that to a young student that had just graduated from stage 2 to go into stage 3 to follow me. That's all they wanted to hear. But when Jesus went and chose his disciples, he said, "Follow me as well." But there was a lot of difference between what the rabbis, how they said, "Follow me," and why, versus how Jesus said, "Follow me," and why. We're going to get into that. But what happened was is that whenever a Hebrew boy that had gone through, he'd passed stage 1 and he was past stage 2, and he'd go back to the Torah, and he would wait for a rabbi to come back to the Torah to find disciples, to find those that he could teach again. He could teach these principles to. And what he would do, he would go into the where they were at, and the place was filled with those that have passed stage 2, and all they were waiting for was a rabbi to come back and to choose them to go to stage 3. Not everybody was chosen, and here's how that went. In order for them to go into stage 3, they had to hear the words, "Follow me." If they didn't hear that, then they didn't make the cut, and they would have to go and make their living doing something else. And these Hebrew boys, that's all they wanted. They wanted somebody to say, "Follow me." But if they didn't do that, then they weren't going to become rabbis. And so what would happen, the rabbi would go into the Torah, and he would study the students that were there ready to go into stage 3. And he would ask himself, do I believe that this student could take this, what I'm saying, and take this work and move it greater than I can? If he didn't think that, he would say, "I'm sorry, you didn't make the cut." And they would have to go and make plans to find another job to make a living. But when he found one that he thought could take the message further than he could, then he would say, "Follow me." But now, and then they would go into stage 3. But what happened when Jesus, um, when he said, "I would like to make you fishers of men," where did he go? He didn't go to the Torah to do that. Jesus went to the lake, and he gathered up 12 disciples, and he had asked them, "How would you like to be fishers of men?" And that's all they ever wanted to know. "Then follow me." They would even jump out of their boats and swim to the shore. And that 12 of them would go out, and they were all chosen by Jesus, who said, "Follow me." Now I want you to look at the two differences here. The rabbis were men that they're just rabbis. Jesus is our Savior, but Jesus had just passed with authority and to become a rabbi with authority, so he could change things. That meant he didn't have to go to the temple to choose students that were already vetted and qualified to move to stage 3. What did he do? He went to the lake, and he found his 12 disciples there, and he said, "I'd like to make you fishers of men. Do you want to become a fisher of men?" And they all wanted it. And he said, "Then follow me." And 12 of them, they were fishing. A lot of them were fishing, and they jumped out of their boats. They swam to shore, and they followed Jesus. Why? Because he said, "Follow me." Notice the difference between what the rabbis did at the Torah and what Jesus did at the lake. Those that were at the lake that he chose had been to the Torah. They had gone through stage one, but they didn't make it for sure on stage two, and they were disqualified. And man disqualified him. He either qualified him or he disqualified him. But when Jesus came on the scene, he went to the disqualified that they'd said, you didn't make the cut. And Jesus went to them. He said, I want to make you fishers of men. Follow me. Here's the key point. If you are born again and you want to serve God, Jesus, and you say, well, I'm not qualified. I haven't gone to school and all this stuff. And that's all well and good. But listen, Jesus qualified you. Man disqualifies you, but Jesus qualified you to take the movement and move it forward. That's the difference between what Jesus said when he said, follow me, and what a rabbi said when he said, follow me. Big difference. Thank you. We'll talk to you some more later. God bless.